Thank you so much for staying tuned to Champions TV, where we empower people. And this is Nature Talk. And today we have two environmental enthusiasts in our studios, and they were talking to us about the role of youth in environmental conservation. And from our previous discussion, we were looking at the future plans to ensure that indeed environment is highly used in a sustainable manner. According to Maureen, what are some of the things you can suggest to ensure that environmental sustainability is promoted at large?
Okay, that is a very nice question. Mm-hmm. So, my suggestion on this issue is that we should encourage and embrace best practice. Mm-hmm. Best practice in this case means involve carrying out activities that doesn't deploy environment in any way. Mm-hmm. For example, when I talk of agriculture, mm-hmm. when we carry out agriculture, we should ensure that mm-hmm. we carry out practices that minimize harmful effects to environment, mm-hmm. such as carrying out agroforestry. Besides, so we carry out mm-hmm. crop farming and livestock farming. Mm-hmm. Besides, we plant trees. Okay. The trees will be very important mm-hmm. to environmental conservation. Mm-hmm. Again, in development, we should consider all the aspects of environment while carrying out a development. Mm-hmm. This is where, for example, if you want to construct a road, mm-hmm. you should consider the negative impacts that the project is mm-hmm. going to pose to social aspect of environment, mm-hmm. to environmental aspect itself, mm-hmm. and the economic aspect. Mm-hmm. But in this case, because roads are majorly targeted at mm-hmm. raising the economy, we will have to consider the negative impacts mm-hmm. of this project to the social and the social aspect of environment and environment on its own. Okay. And then again, mm-hmm. We can embrace the issue of changing patterns of consumption. Mm-hmm. This will help to ensure mm-hmm. food security. Okay. We can do this in that we should be very willing, mm-hmm. and we should be very willing mm-hmm. to change mm-hmm. the type of food we consume. Mm-hmm. This is because climate really change, and if we stick to one kind of feeding habit, mm-hmm. then I think we are going to deploy mm-hmm. the soil. For example, if we stick to eating some mm-hmm. stuffs like ugali or feed depending on maize so much, mm-hmm. it means we are going to measure on maize production mm-hmm. at the expense of the other crops. This mm-hmm. will lead to soil erosion mm-hmm. and loss of fertility. Okay. When the soil loses its fertility, mm-hmm. the impact is going to be like it's going to create multiple mm-hmm. impacts. Mm-hmm. Okay? Sure. So if we can change the consumption patterns whereby we can produce mm-hmm. different types of crops and mm-hmm. be comfortable with them, feed on them, not that mm-hmm. if we don't have maize, then nothing else can work. I think.
Yeah. Okay, so finding alternative sources of livelihood is what you're talking about. Yes. Okay, and what about you, Judith?
In addition to what we've just talked about, mm-hmm. I would suggest and think into the future and see the aspect of environmental awareness. Mm-hmm. Majorly, previously, I have gone to communities, and probably many environmentalists have gone to several communities. They found that what happens there majorly is the fact that people don't understand what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And they don't even get why we have to conserve the environment, yet there are other issues to mm-hmm. deal with. Mm-hmm. So I would wish that we have an environmental awareness that is clearly and greatly done, mm-hmm. massively done, mm-hmm. to the local communities and even to the country and internationally at large. Mm-hmm. And this would be even, just to think loud, mm-hmm. And even a purely environmental gazette, mm-hmm. and if possible made free so that we get intentional on environment. Another thing would be even having a purely a purely environmental TV mm-hmm. that would be just dealing with environmental issues and the state of our country, mm-hmm. including the major projects that also have major impacts.
Okay.
To add on that, mm-hmm. With the awareness creation, people will get to understand the impact of their activities several kilometers away on the environment.
Sure.
People will understand that if you pollute water, you're not only affecting people in the surrounding close to the water body, but your effect may be felt kilometers away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also motivational to recognize the sustainable practices of people when they have done best. Especially for example, for farmers, when they have implemented the sustainable practices in their farming and managed to do a good job, it's good to be appreciated and it be considered for them to be.
So it's pay for ecosystem services.
And I
Okay.
think the government or the responsible authorities or the relevant authorities should also ensure there is high level of compliance and enforcement of environmental conservation regulations. Yes.
Okay. And I understand that during these activities you usually conduct the planting of trees, visiting children homes and doing community education. What are some of the challenges you go through during these processes? And how do you come out of these challenges? Yes, let's start with Judith.
One of the major challenges that we've experienced so far is the financial constraints, especially in the field of transport and organization of our events. This has really posed a great challenge to us because when you're mobilizing students or other youths to an event, they actually say they don't have transport, understanding that students, they have a lot of things to do yet they are not working. That is really a major challenge for the students. And that also it's a challenge even to the institutions where the students are, and therefore we've at times had to leave some students behind, especially the ones that are not very intentional on environment, and this has really been a challenge to us. Another thing would have been ignorance by the authorities higher than us. We try to create awareness through media and all that. And then when it comes to the action, we act. But then even if we have some live videos and having some interviews there, they are not really considered. So you still find that even in the media, you find that even as much as we try our best to be there, not so many people consider that.
Yeah, sure. And what about you, Maureen?
Okay, I can talk of the challenges we face in our activities. Is that one, though the youths are really trying in social media to reach out to create awareness on the issue of environmental conservation, but I think the procedure or the methodology they are using is somehow not sustainable. This is because they sensitize people. It's like they only focus on the illiterate ones, those who can access internet. While at the grassroots level, like primary school children, the old mamas at home, the grandmas and the grandpas, they are not involved. They can't access internet. Therefore, they assume everything is moving on well. So as much as we are trying, but I think the methodology we are using is not that sustainable.
Okay.
And again, another challenge we face is the issue of subjectivity and objectivity. At some point, you find that as a youth, you are trying to create awareness to people on the issue of environmental conservation.
Sure.
But because some people have different motives, so somebody can go, for example, you post something in Twitter or WhatsApp, then somebody is going to interpret it and give you a response depending on their motives and emotions. So they're like, you're trying to do something, to you it's good, of which, okay, I can say it's good to everybody, but we have that group, the group called the anti-environmentalists. They will respond to your issues according to their emotions and feelings. Therefore, this one demoralizes most of the youths. And then again, some youths feel that they are not recognized. For example, lack of recognition to come out when there are some conferences or forums where youths do attend, then they air out their views. Maybe he or she has a very critical issue and the issue can really impact environment positively. But then we find that the authority on top or the relevant experts don't put this into consideration. They listen to you, but they don't implement it, however much you feel it's very important. And again, they don't give you feedback or the reason as to why they ignore it.
Okay. Okay, and so you have talked about your challenges, and so what is your opinion of how the government can help you ensure that these challenges are limited, to even motivate you for further advocating for sustainability? Maybe we should just hear the opinion of Maureen, then Judith, you will also tell us some of the few opinions you have, and we shall continue from there.
Okay. To ensure sustainability at the higher level, I suggest that first, to encourage the students or youths that are going through education process, the government should ensure that there is internship for every student who has undergone the education process, who has the skills, a mandatory internship. This will make them apply the knowledge they learn in class practically in the field. And when they do that, they will really feel convinced and happy. And this, when a student comes from school, maybe he or she has an idea that those who are already there doesn't have. So when you go there, you can bring in new ideas, therefore impact the activities or objectives of an organization positively.
Sure.
Again, I suggest that the government should ensure that the research done on environment is not kept. They should try and implement or do something
about it.
They don't allow people to do research, then they keep them in the files in offices.
Sure.
I think that will not help in bringing any positive impact.
Okay, so maybe we should listen to some 2 points from you, Judith.
Personally, on the government, one of the major things that I would wish that it does is funding the innovations that the youth come up with. For example, Kenyatta University has Chandaria Innovation Center, and Innovation and Incubation Center, that is. And in this one, we have students developing projects and initiatives, submitting them there, and with time they get to, even if it's sponsors from outside, the students are able to implement them. I think this makes a lot of sense when it's approached from the government side. In addition, we could also have the government help the youth and support them in terms of helping them understand that they are important people through motivation and appreciating them by considering what they are saying. And in this case, we would have even forums and having people who are talking to the youth about what they are doing and trying to show them that this is important.
Okay.
Then another thing I would wish to mention in that case would be allowing the people who have learned in a specific field to work in the same field. We may have some people from education and then they are working in the environmental field. I think that is the major thing that has really made the environment status of the country go down. Because we have us as graduates of environment, and then you may find that we are not getting jobs in the field of environment, and then somebody else is put in where we've been. That is very effective.
Okay, thank you so much. And to our viewer, thank you so much for keeping it to Champions TV. This is Nature Talk, and I hope all the youths that are watching this show, you will keep in mind engaging yourself in any little activities towards promoting environmental conservation. Have a nice evening. Until next time, see you.